We'll start?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So good evening, one and all present for the session. Myself, Priya Ramakrishnan, batch 2008. Our speaker for the evening is a qualified chartered accountant. He became an entrepreneur soon after he completed his CA. He's one of the founding members and the MD and CEO of Matrix Business Services India Private Limited, which is now part of UDS Group. Matrix is India's leading business assurance company, having a pan-India presence. Matrix specializes in the business assurance services for FMCG and retail industry and is one of the leaders in the employee background verification space. At Matrix, he drives the business development, strategy, people initiatives, and brand building. Our speaker is an author, and the titles of his books are Rajni's Panchtantra, Grand Brand Rajni, Ready Steady Exit, and A Drizzle in the Desert, amongst which his first book, Rajni's Panchtantra, is a national bestseller which attempts to interpret Rajni's most famous punchlines and demonstrate how each of them can be adapted as a motto for any business or any life situation. He's a die-hard fan of a superstar Rajnikant, which made him write 2 books on his Talaiva's name, which he just mentioned casually to us. He's also a speaker who addresses corporates, business schools, educational institutions, clubs, and several associations like us on invitation, and addressing on topics like motivation, inspiration, entrepreneurship, team building, etc. Apart from these, he is definitely a humble human being, an excellent boss to work with. Ladies and gentlemen, I take great pleasure in introducing Mr. P C Balasubramanian for addressing us on the topic, Reinventing Yourself During Crisis. I'm pleased to welcome you to our Bharatiya School of Management and Entrepreneur Development Alumni Association, Mr. Bala. So over to you.
Thank you so much, Priya, for the wonderful introduction.
Pleasure is mine, Bala.
Imagine, let's get into the subject. Imagine there is, a power shutdown in your house. You know what we do? We immediately go out, check whether there is power in the neighboring house. If there is power in the neighboring house and you don't have power, then you become very jittery. What do? We normally call up the electricity board office. You will never get a response. Nobody will pick up the phone. And even if somebody picks up the phone, you will not get a very valuable answer. General experience I'm talking of. And what do? Instead of just the neighboring house, instead of just your house, you go out, you see the neighboring house they're also not having power. Entire street doesn't have the power. And you also get a message stating that entire city doesn't have power. Then you are slightly relaxed. You are one among many. You are not alone when there is a huge problem. And you'll be dead sure that matter of time, because everybody is affected in the city. So matter of time, the department concerned would take some measures, and you may get the power in half an hour time, 1 hour time, or whatever. So you will not be scared. If you're alone facing a problem, then you will have plenty of worries. Exactly, we are in that situation today. We are not alone at all. We are in lockdown. I will not talk too much about this virus. And we are not alone. That is something I want to emphasize. We are not alone when it concerns the problems that is surrounding the world, that is impacting us all through. So in a way, we are one among millions. And coming to business, I know in this group there are many entrepreneurs, many people who are handling very key jobs in certain companies, irrespective of the size of the companies. So I'm sure you are also going through hell of a problem. I'm also going through a lot of problems. And let us talk about initially a business. Everyone is impacted. Small business, very big business, listed companies, unlisted companies, unicorn, name it, everybody is having a problem today. But then after the initial 1 week, 5 days, 1 week, 10 days, now people are trying to reinvent the ways by which they can sustain the current impact, okay, and then be ready for a leap when normalcy sets in. And I'm a firm believer. I'm an incurable optimist. Let me tell you that this is only a matter of time, maybe a month, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months. You may lose 1 quarter of your business. You may you may become stable during the second quarter, but very soon be prepared to leap in business. The opportunities are going to become a lot more higher for us than what we have seen so far. So with that note, let me start. I'm P C Balasubramanian. As introduced by Priya, I run the company called Matrix Business Services India Private Limited. I'm a chartered accountant by qualification, but it ended there. I never did what a normal chartered accountant should be doing, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing. In my company, there are about 1,250 people. We have presence all over the country. So you can imagine my concerns with reference to this lockdown. We are in service industry. We are into the B2B space. So the concerns are definitely there. And when you have so many people working for you, your concerns are doubled. So how can we handle this situation? And I'm not going to give a lecture here. I'm going to share only my views, and I shall wait for some lovely inputs coming from all of you. You may be running a startup, you may be running an established company, you may be in the B2B space, B2C space, or B2B2C space. You may be a consultant. You could be handling a key position in a company. So there'll be a lot of inputs that could come through this evening, and I'm eagerly waiting to hear from all of you. Now, who are maximum affected? Everybody's affected. Take my business, everybody's affected. Your business, everybody's affected. The top management is affected. The business, if you look at business as a separate entity, because business is a separate entity, you have to, irrespective of the entity nature, whether it is a company, partnership firm, proprietary concern, treat business as a separate entity. The business is suffering today. And look at the owners, who could be proprietors, partners, or shareholders, and management team, the top management team. That is one segment, and below that there is something called a leadership team. A lot of managers at various levels. You will have general manager, vice presidents, assistant managers, and so on. And below that you will have clerical staff, and maybe depending upon your business, you may even have blue collar employees. To me, the most affected is the blue collar employee in any organization, because as I read, many of the companies are sacking the blue collar, or reducing the number of people, number of blue collar employees being engaged in the business. That's a sorry state of affairs, but that's a reality. We have to face a reality today. And except Mr. Anand Mahindra had mentioned, I'm very glad that he quoted some time back. He tweeted, saying that he realizes the importance of the migrant workers today, how important these people are. When it comes to even loading, unloading of stocks, managing your logistics, and so on. He praised, and he said, perhaps we have not given them the right dues so far. And when things become normal, we should respect their contribution to the country, to the business as such. Thanks to Mr. Mahindra for quoting that. Now, let us first focus on entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are shit scared today. Sorry to use it, but they are very, very scared. In fact, I keep talking to some of them. One is to get some knowledge transfer from them, which will help me. Second is, I'm also talking to certain companies who run basically little smaller entities, team of 50, 30, 100, and so on. Where some of them are even struggling to pay rent, leave alone the salary. Rent for, how do I pay my rent for April? How do I pay rent for May? How do I pay the salary? Even power bill, whether I have money to pay. That's a very genuine concern. How many companies are cash rich? There are very, very few companies that are cash rich. We always manage with revenues coming in every month or every period of time. Some companies function with the revenues coming every day. Even 1 day, 2 days collections are hit. The companies are hit. So we are in a different. Each business is different, and as an entrepreneur, this is a very, very genuine concern that you have. And different types of industry, if you take, you could be into manufacturing. I'm sure this is Coimbatore alumni. I mean, most of you are maybe in Coimbatore or from Coimbatore. You're coming from an amazing city known for entrepreneurship, manufacturing units, and so on. And I'm sure many of you are associated with some kind of manufacturing activity, and I have immense respect for such people. So you could be a manufacturer, you could be a trader, or you could be in service industry. Let us broadly look into these three services. Everyone is going through the pain, be it manufacturing or services or trading concern. My point is, what can you do about it? I will break this into two components: customer side. you have customers. If you're in B2B, you will have another concern, another entity as your customer, set of entities. If you're into B2C, you will have a huge set of individual consumers. Let us focus on B2B, so as to say. What can you do during this lockdown? To me, this lockdown, although it is passing a lot of pain to us, certainly it has given a lot of opportunities to regroup ourselves, reinvent ourselves, through a lot of introspection, through a lot of strategic discussions with your own team. This is the best opportunity. Mind you, you ask yourself on a regular basis, day-to-day basis, it is very difficult to create specific time for all of this at work, because you will go with a plan, but something will hit you. You get immersed into that problem, because we are all problem resolvers. We get into that. We never create that, what we call the time that is required for addressing the core issues on strategies, core issues on reinventing ourselves, innovation, and so on. Maybe this is a time. Take it as on the positive side. Today, positive is a bad word, but take it on the positive side. This is a great time to reinvent yourselves in business itself. Now, let us talk about customers. See, if you're in B2B space, or even B2C to some extent, I'll explain that. In the B2B space, you can easily classify customers into exceptional customers, good customers, okay, fair enough customers, bad customers, and even ugly customers. Good, bad, ugly. I'm just adding exceptional and fair customers also. This is the time you should really ask yourself whether you need to continue, segregate them. The segregation could be based on the revenue that you generate from these customers, the kind of margins that you make, the kind of treatment that you get from these customers, the kind of cash flows that emerge from these customers, and certain other classes, the risk associated with the kind of services, with each of these customers, and the way the customer looks at you also. So this is time to perhaps, you maybe one or two key people in the organization really slice and dice this information. It's very important. When things become normal, I'm telling you, you'll have a lot of clarity to take certain very important key decisions. Divide them. And when you look at the exceptional and good customers, and even to some extent fair customers, please be in touch with these customers even today, and try to do some work for them. It is very important that you voluntarily do some work for them. Don't worry about revenue coming in. Please add some value to these customers, because they are exceptional customers to you, very good customers to you. The kind of work that you do today, whatever is possible, you can't go out and do any work, which is understandable, but back-end, digital, anything that you can do, possibly do through your team, please proactively offer to do such services to these customers. It will build a huge amount of goodwill, and it is something like giving it back to customers who made you what you are today. So do that with reference to the customers. You please ask yourself, this will be, even if you're a trader, you're supplying to retail outlets, some outlets are very dear to you, very good to you, and there will be some retailers who must have defaulted a lot of payments, make you run around and trouble you in so many other ways. So this is the right time for you to look at what you want to do with reference to customers profiling. Profile the customers and take decisions that are valuable to your business. And even revenue streams. Even if you're running a business just like our company, I'm sure you will also have a few revenue streams. It's not just one revenue stream. Just like how you analyze the data pertaining to the customers, please spend some quality time during this period to understand whether all revenue streams that you currently have are really worthwhile or not. It will help you to add a new revenue stream, or cut off some revenue stream which are anyway not very, very valuable. Sometimes you may be even losing money. You may not be aware of it because you are not analyzing the data properly, or you are just for the sake of doing it, you're doing it. So now you should ask yourself whether you should even streamline your revenue streams. Idana edukku important na, when you come back, there'll be absolute clarity of thought as to what you want to do. This is on the customer side. And my humble request, please focus very much on your cash flows. Okay, turnover is just vanity, profits of course sanity, but cash is reality. Inniki the companies which are able to sustain are companies, irrespective of the size again, are companies which have decent cash on hand, decent cash at bank. You know, mere receivables, too much of money lying elsewhere in the form of inventory will not give you, you know, what do you call, peace of mind. So cash flow is extremely important. And even today, uh, again, if you're into B2B space, most of your time should go into collecting the money that is due already. Please do that. Nothing wrong. If you're going to substantially spend your time next to 3 4 weeks 6 weeks on collections, please do that. Please gear up. There is nothing called that's not my job, that's my accountant's job, nothing like that. You know, if you have to get involved, please get involved. And not only that, going forward also take this as a lesson, because today this lockdown is for 40 days hopefully. Okay, we don't know, maybe after a year, after 2 years, there could be a lockdown for 15 days. So you should be prepared. This is taught us a lesson that you know, there should be enough cash on hand in your business. So find ways of improving your cash flows. Profits are different. Sometimes, you know, you will assume that you're making very good profits, but if you're not collecting cash, they are not profits at all. You know, it is all illusion. So you need to move out of that. Be cash rich. So go through the balance sheet of some very large companies and even certain mid-sized companies, listed companies, or even other companies. You will know the companies that are rich in cash, you know, where their current ratio is also very good, primarily liquid assets. They are always rated very, very highly. You know, their net worth also should be very, very good compared to their size of their, I mean, in correlation with their size of the business they handle. So cash flows is very important, and that will answer a lot of issues that you have in the next 2 to 3 months. Uh, I firmly believe that you know, let's pray that May 3rd there is a partial opening up at least, and it will slowly scale up. Maybe from June or so, you know, it can become a little more normal, and surely from July we'll hope that we'll be absolutely normal, subject to certain processes that we have to follow at workplace. That will be there. That will definitely continue for at least a year. At least for a year is my guess. So, but at least you'll be able to go for work, produce revenues, handle your work, you know, get your team in place, and even to get the team back into your office is going to take time. You know, depending upon the size of your team and depending upon where these guys come from. You know, people who have gone to their native place will take some time to come in. Now, it's not just they are going to take the public transport the very day when the public transport is available. They're not going to take a bus or train or flight and come and land at your place. This is going to take some more time. Next is, I will say that you move towards employees. You know, one is the how you handle your customers. Now let us move to employees. To us, you know, it is not for the sake of telling. You know, since Priya was working in our company for a long time, she knows we feel you know, our human resources, just like a few other companies or many other companies. We know that they are the pillars of the organization. They are extremely important, and especially if you are in service industry, yeah, you know, your people count a lot. If you're a manufacturer, not to a great extent, but the service industry, it is even more important. And hence they'll be worried. I mean, they'll be worried. And I recommend a policy of having a very open, transparent discussion with your employees. I mean, you may not be able to do that across all levels. You know, you have various types of employees, but at least have that kind of a conversation with your immediate downline and the next line, you know, in the pyramid. It helps. Tell them, you know, how the position of the company, how it is, whether we are able to make revenues, whether we are able to collect money, whether we are safe, whether we'll be able to meet our overheads, including their own salaries. Let them not keep guessing. In many, you know, many families, the person could be a single wage earner, so he or she should know that money is going to come, or money is not going to come, or money is going to come maybe with a reduction. If that is the case, what is the plan of the company, how long, you know, and you have to share. I think it is a duty of the company. Similarly, don't get into a knee-jerk reaction. You know, it's sad to read even such large companies sacking some people instantly, knee-jerk, immediately, 300, 400 people being removed. And as I shared with you a little earlier, blue-collar employees being sacked immediately. And some people ask to be on leave for the next 2-3 months. I'm telling you, I'm gathering all this information based on which I'm talking to you. 2-3 months you can be on leave, and hence you will be paid about 30%, 40% of the salary, but you don't have to come to work, but you will be paid 30%. So stay at home, and if at all we want, we'll call you back. Apdi or policy some companies are creating. Depends. I mean, without revenues, you can't pay, you can't meet the overheads, you can't pay salaries. Clearly understandable. But my request, my suggestion, my recommendation is have a conversation with your employees. It is extremely important. And when sacrifice has to be there, some sacrifice, till such time normalcy returns, it should start from top. It should not start from the bottom. It should start from top. You please set an example of what the culture of the organization is. So please do that, and have a conversation with employees. Have a very, very open conversation. You see, many of them will understand. Many of them understand. It is available through. This is a problem throughout the world. We read newspapers every other day that there are cuts happening, salary cuts, people being sacked, etc. So most of them will understand. But there'll be some set of people who may not understand. It is either you try to explain to them, or expect your leadership team, because they are the guys who are the mentors for that set of people. So they will be able to educate them. So you can go a little slow, but educate the employees as to what you intend doing. It will be very useful, and the employees also will respect the organization. We have a very transparent conversation. It is important. Then come to costs. See, some costs have to be cut. No two ways about it. Fixed costs, very difficult, but salary is also fixed costs. As I said, there should be an opportunity where there should be a process by which you cut costs, at least for a specific period of time. And there'll be rent if you're hiring a lot of places. See, you would have read even how ICICI Bank is talking to several landlords, for all their ATM spaces, even branches and so on, for a massive reduction in rental. This is to save money, because that's a need of the hour. And it is not just ICCI. Many banks and many establishments will be talking to their landlords for some reduction. It can be 100% waiver, because that's the business for the landlord. I mean, he depends on such an income. But be realistic and seek a request for some kind of a consideration in the reduction of the rent for a specific period of time. It could be 1 month, it could be 2 months, it could be 3 months, but nobody is going to sign off for the next 1 year. So you can take 1 month, 2 months at any point of time and request for some reduction. And employee costs I already discussed. I will not say how you have to manage, how you have to reduce the cost, etc. Leave it to you. But that is important. It is also important that people sacrifice so that it is sustainable. There is no great shakes. There is no great fun in having 1 month salary, full salary, and next month you walk out with nothing on hand. So sustainability has to be established. So it could be planned in such a fashion. There are other costs which are variable, which you need not worry. Right? For example, for most of us, there is no travel expenses for month of partly for March, and certainly for a major part of April, may continue for some more period of time. Other expenses, variable expenses, definitely they will come down. They will come down because there is no business. So where is the question of any variable expenditure? Be careful when it comes to any capex, capital expenditure commitment. See, this is where your judgment has to come. It's not that you will not spend money on capital expenditure, but you have to be very, very careful. You have to balance, whether you can handle it right now, you can postpone, or if it is extremely important to do it right now because you want to capture a market, capture the current, leverage the current situation, you should just blindly go ahead and do it. But don't throw money on certain aspects which can be postponed. For example, you will now see all the great spenders, especially from the retailing, which is in FMCG, even banking companies. They may be reluctant to throw a lot of money in promoting their products. Their commercial time that they engage in television, etc., will come down drastically. For simple reason, they will not spend too much of money now. They will conserve cash. They can't afford to do that. So you should also be watchful about where you want to spend your money. But when it demands that you have to innovate something, and this is the right time to do it. You know why? Because you can negotiate better with the supplier. be it a software, be it an application builder, be it even a fixed asset. This is the right time because you will be able to negotiate and get at a very, very good price. So you can perhaps plan that. I'll just share without going into the details. We are already, our company is also into background verification service, one of the very, very huge services that we render. And one of the components, I'm sharing this experience so that you can take the some lessons from this. We do the address verification of the employees. It's a massive exercise throughout the country where physically people have to go to the addresses of the employees and verify the residential address. The same thing happens when you take a home loan also. Okay, it's called contact point verification. In that industry, here we call this address verification, residential address. Today you can't do that because you will not be allowed. Nobody is allowed inside any apartment, any house. You can't do that. So we have digitized that. Now perhaps we should have done it some time back. But sometimes a crisis helps you to think of different alternatives, to innovate. That's why I said this is the right time to reinvent. Now we have created a digital means of verifying these people, which is good enough for the customers for the moment, or even they may even continue with the same process going forward. Now, this is helping us to handle this job, which is out and out a field job so far. Now we are able to do it in a digital form. So we have invented, and we are also rolling out a new initiative in the employee background verification space. And all of that happened, or most of it happened after the lockdown. So we're not keeping quiet, and you should also you should not keep quiet. You should not see what is the point in sulking. What is the point in feeling bad? My God, I'm not able to generate revenue. This is a problem. That is a problem. I don't get my team. I can't go to the office. Yes, you're not alone, as I said earlier, but you have to keep progressing. You cannot stop. There is no full stop here. It is only a pause. During this pause, you have to create something. And what is important to your organization, do that. And I'm advising some of these organizations also that this could be a very good time in case you don't have a good website, your company needs a decent social media presence, and you are not there, or you're just managing all by yourself because of your budgetary constraints, or you believe you know everything. It could be anything. This is the best time to at least be prepared. Do that. Understand that you could do this. Your perception value also will increase. Your visibility can increase amongst the target audience, target customers, or even investors tomorrow. So you should understand that this is the best time. And again, as I said, it's a very good time to get into it because you will get at a good price. There are several companies who are waiting for orders because their hands are not full today. They are empty now. So if you go and approach them, what would cost X amount to you? Now they will be able to do it at 60% of X, 70% of X, or even 50% of X. Utilize it. That will take some time, 2 months, 1 month, 15 days to build whatever you want. And even you can negotiate the terms of the payments. I'll pay some money now, some money after 30 days, some money after another maybe after 60 days. They will say, surely yes. Most of them will say yes because it's business for them. So think in those lines also. Never give up. See, never give up. We have 1,250 employees in our organization. So you can imagine what kind of thinking will be going into. And we are not a dollar realizing company. We earn Indian rupees. So for a company which is generating dollar revenue, it is fine. Okay, you would have amassed good amount of money to take care or to sustain. But somebody who's into domestic business and you're earning Indian rupee in service industry, it is not easy. It is definitely not easy. But we are not, while we are concerned, we are aware of the situation, we are not panicking at all. We know that, things will settle down, and actually they will come in lots. Lot of opportunities are going to come. Why? Because outsourcing will become the order of the day, even domestic businesses, because people have realized that having employees in your roles sometimes can become a liability, because under these circumstances, what we are facing today, you're forced to pay salary, if not full, at least 50%, 30%, 70% of what. When it is outsourced, all that you have to do is just one mail, okay? That, next 10 days, I don't want any service, or I'll pay you for next 1 week, and then, I don't want to pay you for next 30, 40 days, 60 days, or till such time this problem is resolved. So companies are easily able to trim their costs. And who are the sufferers? Only the the service providers. But then your opportunities are going to increase. So many people will start outsourcing. And look at the way even some of these companies are already reinventing. I'm sure you are watching this. In the last 15 days, a few companies are focusing on products that are extremely relevant today. I'll even mention some names. Kevin Care has now launched Raga hand sanitizer. So that is going to become a huge product for them. Marico, I think Medicare, again, has sanitizer. So that's going to be a company which is, sells parachute so much. Next few months, they will be surely focusing on this product, leveraging the current situation, important for the country, important for the society, important for the people, but at the same time, it is beneficial to the company also. Many will come. See, take for example, even in China, I'm told that many companies have now gone into manufacturing of masks and sanitizers and other medical needs, current medical needs. Minimum about 15,000 units have emerged who are into producing masks. Maybe somebody should be doing it here. We may not know. And how many of you know? I don't know. There is a company by name Loyal Textiles, and now they started manufacturing masks. Cotton-based masks. Very good. I mean, it's for. In fact, I ordered for not just for myself. I ordered for my company people also. Tomorrow when office opens, whether you always doubt whether the people are protecting themselves. They are taking care. We may not know. So it is our duty to ensure that they are protected and they also protect others. So I ordered, and I was surprised to see that Loyal Textiles has gone into production of masks immediately. They are into textiles line, so it is it's a natural for them to get into it. But how many of them have done that? Maybe there is an opportunity there. Maybe there is an opportunity, and such products will be in huge demand. And it should be localized. It's not that the entire country can be serviced by one company or two companies. Maybe there'll be a lot of local players emerging, supplying these even basic masks or herbal-based sanitizers or any kind of other sanitizers. I'm sure large names, you remember, all the big names are going to launch such products. And if you are into it, remember there is an opportunity. And even if you are a distributor for these products are going to give you good amount of revenues. And your focus, your inventory also should be more focused on these types of products, fast moving products. And these will be fast moving for the next few months at least. 100% I'm sure about it. And when you run a company, you are also realize the fact that you are also a leader. Okay, you assume you're a forget the title. You could be a CEO, MD, vice president. You are a leader. Don't exhibit your fear to the team. You can exhibit your concern, but not your fear. Never do that. And to borrow Talevar's line, let me use that. Beautiful line in one of his movies. He would say in Batsha, you can have concerns, you can have fear. Having a healthy fear is very good for us, but you should not be panicking. If a leader panics, nothing is possible. The team will panic. It takes me to 1983 World Cup. India lifting the World Cup 1983. Nobody believed that India would even cross quarterfinals. But one man, the CEO of the team, I call him CEO, Kapil Dev, the captain of the team, honestly believed that if they play well, they could lift the cup. And imagine they were facing West Indies in the final, and that West Indies, 83 West Indies, impossible for India even to not a patch on the team, not even 30% capability. In terms of capability, we were not even 30% of West Indies then. But then the captain did not panic, the CEO didn't panic, the leader didn't panic, and hence the team delivered. He also delivered, of course, but the team delivered. So take lessons. Lessons are around us. I'm a firm believer that lessons are around us. 83, today we are a very strong cricketing team, but in 83, this man believed, he didn't panic, and hence he performed. If you have really panicked, you would have perished. So don't panic. And when you fall, there will be a fall. Let me tell you that this financial year is going to be a fall for all of us. Could be 1 quarter, 2 quarters, or entire financial year. Doesn't matter. You may fall, but take all other precautionary measures, as I said earlier. So you'll be able to sustain at least. You'll be able to sustain. And remember, when you fall, don't just lie down. Given an opportunity, you have to get up and get up fast. Here I have to again mention, because some of them were talking about the books, punchlines and so on. Rajinikanth, has gone through this. Okay, you are talking about 3 months lockdown. He went into his own lockdown for 3 years because he was written off. He was written off even 1977. How many of you know? I'm not too sure. We will have that session later. Even recently, 2002, after a debacle, one of his movies flopped, which is Baba. He was written off. 3 years he didn't do any movie. And in an industry like like cinema, if you're not seen for a year, for 6 months, you'll be forgotten because others will come in very easily. But this man was in sabbatical for 3 years. But when he came back, he came back very, very powerfully. So let us take that as a very important lesson. In fact, in the audio launch of that movie, he said, since he told this in Tamil, I'll narrate in Tamil. Na yana illa kudara kizha vizhundha pattunnu ezhundupen. You should get up. We are all going to fall. We are falling. You are falling. Many are falling. But when you want to get up, please get up. When you get an opportunity to get up, or create an opportunity and get up in a jiffy, just like a horse, not like an elephant. This is on the, we will discuss on the business side a little later. Take on the personal side. And how many of you are utilizing this time for your personal welfare or some of the personal things? I'm telling you, my own experience, I'm doing a lot of good things. And I want to share that with you. It's still not too late. I'm sure some of you must be doing something better than what I'm doing today. Or some of you may be doing a part of what I'm doing today. And this is as I narrated in the initial conversation itself, this is going to be interactive. Do something which you're not done. Perhaps there'll be a lot of postponement of certain important personal things in your life. Your financial management, your financial reorganization. This is the best time. In fact, even discussing your financial status with your own key family member, could be spouse, children. This is the right time. Spend that quality time in doing that. And set up a nice routine from now on. Our routine today, my routine is what? You get up, I do a lot of domestic work today because you can't engage anybody. It's fine. You get up a little early. You are busy for a few hours. Then I get into work for about 3 to 4 hours, mails, calls, and certain conference calls, and then certain discussions. And then I get into again my personal work. In fact, I have utilized this time in finishing one book. I've written a book. I was going through some edits, and maybe next 2-3 months I will release that book. And I also started another book. Parallelly. So I'm spending my time. I'm catching up with a lot of good movies that I have not seen. Reading books. If you have a good book on hand, or whatever book you love to read, you're not alone. So you will never feel bored. Do that and get into some kind of a nice health regime if you're not been there. Though now today it's available very, very easily. Many people are coming into webinar teaching you how to do pranayam or yoga. Could be just basic stretching. You can do that. So don't sulk. Some of them are sulking as though life has come to an end. No, this is a pause button, and utilize the pause button in the best possible manner. Because when pause is switched off and you get into live action, you need to have energy, you need to have intelligence, rational thinking, and a lot of enthusiasm to move on. So that is extremely important. And when you have this, if you are responsible in a responsible position, please take these lessons to your downline. It could be at work, it could be in your family. If somebody is sulking, it is your duty to tell them, narrate and talk about positive things. And in that, I'm telling you, never watch TV beyond, especially news, beyond 10 minutes in a day, because it is going to be copy paste. They are going to tell the same thing. A lot of panicky situation they will create. They'll give you statistics which you cannot control. 55 deaths somewhere, 500 deaths somewhere. What are you going to do with that information? It is enough if you read the information next day in paper. Don't keep on watching that. It completely gives you a negative, creates sort of negativity. Don't do that. Kenji Gagare. Don't do that. And even in the WhatsApp group, come out of the groups which are only discussing this. COVID, lockdown, this, happening like this. Don't. One message if you read, it is enough. There are so many experts emerging on this subject today. Everybody has an opinion. And what are you going to do? Focus on something that you can control. Rest of it, just take the information, consume to the extent of what you want, and then stop there. Don't worry about all of this. This kind of negativity is not going to do any favor to you. So move out of this. Focus. Use this surplus time that you have today for your own benefits. For your own. In fact, one or two people known to me have even created will now. Can you beat it? Can you believe it? Nothing wrong. You have to create will, but they feel that anything can happen, and hence it is rational, intelligent action today to create the will. But what I explain to you is, at least explain to your family members. What have you done with your money? Where is your money? Because some people don't discuss this with the stakeholders, relevant stakeholders. So do that. And then some people, as I said, have even created will. So utilize, and there'll be a lot of things that are still pending, personal things pending, which you would have ignored, procrastinated. We are very good at it. All of us are very good. Even I am good at it. This is the right time to fix all of this. Utilize this time. When you start going back to work, as I said, work will increase. It's not going to decrease. And you will never have time for all these personal aspects of life. So please utilize it very, very well now. And take care, and boost your immunity. You're reading a lot of good things. Please boost your immunity. And my humble request is, please play, what do you call, be optimistic. I'm purposely avoiding the word positive. I can't say be positive, because today positive has got a negative connotation. And I want to be interactive. So anybody wants to talk something, I'll be very glad to hear that. And if I can answer, I can answer. If I don't have an answer, ready-made answer, I'll tell you that I don't have an answer. I will not answer for the sake of answering. If I have something to say, I will say. Otherwise, you have to excuse me on that point.
Yes, sir. Now we have Arun Manickam sir online.
Yes, Arun.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, எனக்கு ஒரு சின்ன டவுட்.
சொல்லுங்க.
ப்ராஃபிட் வந்தா மட்டும் எல்லா ஆண்டர்பிரனர்ஸும் அவங்க தேர் புக்கிங் தேர் ப்ராஃபிட் இன் தேர் புக்ஸ். ஏதாவது ஒரு லாஸ் வந்ததுன்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எம்ப்ளாயி சேலரில கை வைக்கிறாங்க.
கரெக்ட்.
இஸ் இட் ஃபேர்?
இட் இஸ் நாட் ஃபேர். அப்சல்யூட்லி அன்ஃபேர். அதான் நான் ஆரம்பத்திலே சொன்னேன். இட் இஸ் அன்ஃபேர். டோன்ட் கெட் இன்டு ஒரு knee jerk ரியாக்ஷன் பண்ணாதீங்க. இல்ல, சம் கம்பெனிஸ் ப்ராஃபிட் வந்தா அதை எம்ப்ளாயிஸ்க்கு கொடுக்குறாங்க இன் சம் ஃபேஷன். See, ஒரு வருஷத்துல ஒரு ப்ராஃபிட் அப்படியே கம்பெனிஸ் கொடுக்க முடியுமாங்கிறதுலாம் முடியாது. அண்ட் டிபெண்ட்ஸ் ஆன் த டைப் ஆஃப் ஆர்கனைசேஷன்ஸ். See, you should understand, சிலதெல்லாம் இன்வெஸ்டட் கம்பெனிஸா இருக்கும், சிலதெல்லாம் லிஸ்டட் கம்பெனிஸா இருக்கும், சிலதெல்லாம் ப்ரொப்ரைட்டரி கன்சர்னா இருக்கும். ஒரு ப்ரொப்ரைட்டர் எப்படி நடத்துவாரு கம்பெனியை? அவர் இஷ்டம், என்ன வேணா பண்ணலாம். சம்டைம்ஸ் அவரோட மூடு மாதிரி இருக்கும். இந்த மாசம் ரொம்ப நல்லா பண்ணிட்டா எல்லாரையும் கூப்பிட்டு டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூட். ஏதாவது ஒரு பிரச்சனை வந்ததுன்னா எல்லாரையும் கண்ணாபுரம் திட்டி வெளியில அனுப்பதுக்கும் சான்ஸ் இருக்கு. ஸோ அந்த நேச்சர், அந்த என்டிட்டியோடைய what I call culture and the type of entity also matters. Whereas external investors உள்ள கம்பெனி அதெல்லாம் இருந்ததுன்னா there will be a process. அது even a top management cannot take decisions just like that. But I definitely agree with you. இந்த knee jerk-ஆ எடுத்து படன்னு பண்ணக்கூடாது. பட் அதே சமயத்துல இப்போ உங்க எல்லாருமே வச்சுக்கணும், எல்லாருமே ஓரளவுக்கு நம்ம பார்த்துக்கணும் போது there has to be sacrifice at various levels. எந்த அளவுக்கு sacrifice இருக்கணுங்கிறது அந்த கம்பெனியோடைய டிசிஷனா இருக்கணும், அது ஃபேரா இருக்கணும். அண்ட் ஈவன் எம்ப்ளாயிஸ் ஷுட் அப்ரிஷியேட் அண்ட் எம்ப்ரேஸ் இட். அவங்களும் கிரிப் பண்ணக்கூடாது அந்த டைம்ல.
Sir, I will add up something. So இந்த டைம்ல we don't call this as a loss. ஏன்னா இப்ப நானுமே கூட எப்பவுமே எம்ப்ளாயிஸ் கொடுக்கணும்னு நினைச்சாலுமே கூட கொடுக்கறதுக்கு கேஷ் இல்லைங்கிறது தான் இன்னைக்கு பிரச்சனையே. கரெக்ட். So it's not a loss or something. Profitல there may be a shortfall அப்படிங்கறத நாங்க எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்றோம். 2 மாசம் சம்பளம் கொடுத்தாலுமே கூடங்க. பட் கொடுக்கறதுக்கு இல்லைங்கிறது தான் எங்களுடைய ப்ராப்ளம். இந்த ரொட்டேஷன் கம்ப்ளீட்லி கட். அதான் சொன்னேன், கேஷ் ஃப்ளோஸ் இஸ் இஷ்யூ. இன்னொன்னு பண்ணலாம். ஒரு 3 months ஃபார் சஸ்டைனபிலிட்டி வில் reduce the salary. In case உங்களுக்கு அப்ளிகபிளா நீங்க எடுத்துங்க, அதை குறைச்சு கொடுக்குறீங்க. திங்ஸ் லுக் அப் வச்சுங்களேன். subsequent 6 months, subsequent 9 months நல்லா வந்துருதுன்னா you can always pay them back. You can always return the money. பட் இன்னைக்கு சஸ்டைனபிளா வேண்டாமா? எல்லாத்தையும் கொடுத்து நாளைக்கு ரெண்ட் கூட கொடுக்க முடியாதுன்னா உங்களுக்கு ஆஃபீஸே இருக்காது. ஒரு இஃப் யூ ஆர் யூசிங் அ ஹையர்டு பிளேஸ், இல்ல நாளைக்கு ஒரு ரா மெட்டீரியல் வாங்குறதுக்கு காசு இல்லாம இருந்தா எப்படி பண்ண முடியும்? தென் நத்திங் வில் ஹேப்பன். அதனால ஒரு சாக்ரிஃபைஸ் இன்னைக்கு இருந்தா கூட நாளைக்கு திங்ஸ் கம் அப் வெரி வெல், ஷேப் அப் வெரி வெல், யூ கேன் ஆல்வேஸ் ரிட்டர்ன் த மணி. இட் இஸ் ஒன்லி a postponement. Next, can we have Mr. Vijay?
Yes, Vijay.
Hello, Bala sir. Thank you for wonderful session.
Thank you.
I got your book and Rajini in Panjatantram and Rajini's Panjatantra.
Thank you.
But we have seen a lot of movies and we never thought that this way we have to look into it, this dialogues. So it has definitely given the management perspective.
Thank you so much, sir.
So now I want to ask a question. After COVID, there is going to be a different workplace, different set of skills. You have given one example that you have to give importance to excellent customers. So like that, which model we have to take? One short term, you told that cash flow is important for the company. And second one, you give importance to excellent customers. Like that, what are the other models we have to take the company to next level? So we don't know what is going to happen, whether customers are going to come back, or what skill set we have to take, which model we have to take, sir.
Sir, very very nice question. Let me answer. இது உங்களுக்கு கன்வின்சிங்கா தான் எடுத்துங்க. ஒன்னு, there is every likelihood that we may lose some customers. எப்படின்னு சொல்றேன், ஏன்னா அந்த கஸ்டமரே கேன் பெர்ஹாப்ஸ் கோ அவுட் ஆஃப் பிசினஸ். ஸோ உங்களுக்கு அது கஸ்டமர் இருக்கிறதுக்கு சான்ஸே இருக்காது. Secondly, sometimes depending upon the nature of the services, if you are in service industry or even a product company, customer may not need that anymore, or he may curtail the requirement. So because of which you may lose the customer. Okay, so you cannot control. This is something beyond your control because there's a problem at the customer end. Whereas what I first said is, if there are some exceptional large good customers for you, proactively get engaged and do something which they never expect you to do today. Don't worry about money, don't worry about anything. Do it so that you build an amazing amount of goodwill. Okay, that will help you. And I also told you that you have to assess your revenue streams. If you are having 4 or 5 revenue streams, maybe 1 or 2 may not be highly valuable tomorrow. Okay, the other 3 will become even more valuable. So focus on them. And I'm telling you, maybe after 6 months we will talk. Nothing majorly is going to change. இதெல்லாம் நியூஸ்ல வருது. We will have to eat, we have to stay in some place, we have to wear clothing, we have to go out and spend money, we have to buy consumer durables, we have to consume consumables, okay, as individuals. And there is something called a psychology also. You are curtailed, you're not able to go out, you're not able to spend money. கொஞ்சம் வர ஆரம்பிச்சோன்னே, the moment normalcy sets in, believe me, we will go out and spend enormous amount. You will be angry, you are going to be very angry with what you are going through today. So you will splash money. You will go and 25 நாளா, 40 நாளா you may be even fed up with your own city. You will go and buy a new sofa set for yourself. You may even buy a new TV for yourself. So that will come, and cost of funding will come down. And NBFCs will be funded more, and these guys are going to give money at very very cheap interest. So consumers are going to go back to the market very very aggressively, is my thought. And in the மாதிரி lockdown வரும்போது, when they go back, they will go back with a lot of anger. So they will buy, they will spend. So don't worry, whatever line you are in, don't worry about it. Business will come back to normalcy.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Next we have Rajesh G, sir.
Yes,
sir, good evening. Myself is Rajesh. Actually, the session is very good, sir. Like it is just you have wrapped up all the important points which is necessary need for the hour, and it is really helpful.
Thank you.
I have one this is just out of curiosity. You have mentioned one point like you have digitalized the address verification process.
Correct.
Since it is a physical residence address verification, how you are able to manage to do that digitalization, sir?
It's through a mobile app. Very simple. See, obviously our customers will also know that we cannot go and physically verify. Okay. So we have created a mobile app by which the applicant, in this case, which is an employee, will be able to capture all the proofs, sitting at his place. He will directly send this across to our platform, to our server. We hit our server, and geotagging also helps in terms of capturing the location. And we also ask him to capture the place of his residence, because he will be at his residence only. So he will also capture the residence. And so the time is captured, the location is captured. and all other documentary proofs that are required as part of this business, that is also captured by him and posted by him online. So we need not currently go and do this verification at this point of time. This may not be a 100% solution tomorrow, but this is good enough. We also realize this is good enough for onboarding an employee today. So it's through a mobile app.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Because actually we are looking for some digitalization of signatures, since we are not able to go and meet the customers directly to get the confirmations. So that's the reason I asked with you, like whether it can be of any help for us to do that digitalization. Thanks, sir. Anyway, I got that point. Yeah.
If you are talking of any agreements where you need customer signatures, just go to Zoho and check. Many others are there. You may even check with Zoho. There are opportunities where you can e-sign. You can agreements can be e-signed also.
Yes, sir. Yeah, currently we are working with the DocuSign. That's like I think they are the industry leaders in digital signature. Yeah, we are working on it. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next we have Ramana Kumar, sir.
Sir, Bala sir, it was an excellent presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. I'm having some issue with my video. 1 second. What I wanted to understand was, you have rightly said that we need to identify new areas of business, new areas of opportunities. So all these new areas of new things will come with a cost at this particular point in time, where the basic running of office itself is a issue, and of course we need to tap on these opportunities. For example, an advocate's office will be flooded with, say, one basic requirement to rehash all the agreements, to do a desktop review of the agreements to see if the force majeure clause is up to date or it has to be rehashed and stuff like that. Such being the case, there is a confusion as to the investment to be made for the new opportunities vis-a-vis the cash flow available right now. Is there any possible situation by which we can try to marry these two situations and try to have a optimal solution? Just
brilliant.
Throwing this question to you.
Brilliant question. Of course, I think if you're a lawyer or you're into legal services, you're talking from that point of view. You are 100% correct. Many people are going to approach you if somebody has used FM class and they are hit very badly. They are going to come and take your help in terms of taking it up with their respective customers. Okay, so I will not understand that legality of the subject, how much it is applicable, how much is enforceable, and so on. But then what I actually meant to was, if you are I gave an example also. If you're into distribution business, you're distributing products. You have created a database of retailers. It could be grocery, it could be pharmaceutical stores, it could be any, depending upon the nature of the business you are in. What I said is, the kind of product that you would be dealing with, you got used to distributing some kind of products.
Correct.
But now, for the next few months, the focus could be on some different types of products. You should have the mindset to change. See, Maruti Udyog is now producing certain medical equipments today. Okay, Maruti. It's only temporary. As of now, they're helping the government in producing, but not that they are going to do this only over a period of time. Temporary. As I said, China, people have closed down their existing business. Somebody who was producing maybe toys or clips, now he is producing masks. There they change instantly, based on what is required today, tomorrow. But we work with the mindset. We have a focus. If you are into legal service and there is some other opportunity that's coming up for you, you will not immediately change. Even that seems very, very rosy in terms of financial opportunities. You may not, because you feel this is good for you. You are accustomed to handling legal agreements, legal documents, drafting, or even handling legal cases. You will not shift. So that mindset is very difficult for us. Indians are made like that. But what I meant is, if there is something else coming up like this, which is in alignment with your business, and you have to marginally change your thought process, do that to the extent of what is applicable to your business. You cannot from being a lawyer, you cannot become somebody else because there's an opportunity.
Correct. What is your advice for service firms?
That's what I meant.
Okay.
Service firms, if you, I'm in service firm, so we are into B2B space. And our focus henceforth will be on customers. I mean, we'll be very aggressive on customer acquisition because you have to build the business. And we'll do a lot of mining with the existing good customer. That's why I use the word exceptional customers and good customers. These are the guys who will enable you to grow, over a period of time. And third most important thing, yes, now coming back to your own favorite subject, legal agreement, we will go through the payment class and ensure that we get our payments, try to get our payments much faster than what we are getting today. We will request. And you know that you may put 30 days, 60 days class, but customers normally need not follow the norms.
Reality is different. Correct.
Yeah, very, very different. But then we will definitely request, emphasize, and appreciate the customers who are henceforth going to pay us on time, because the next 6 months, your cash flows are more important any day, but next 6 months, even more critical than your profits. Even if you have a loss, doesn't matter, but your cash flows are very important to sum it up.
Correct. Absolutely. Thank you, Bala.
Thank you.
Now we have Sambat sir online.
Good evening, sir. It was a nice debate and very valuable insights from your side. I just wanted to add in the process, since I also run a finance advisory company.
Of course, Sampath, your experience, your exposure will be excellent for me to learn certain tips. Please go on.
Many small businesses, when they are fighting the day-to-day operations, they don't have a strong business continuity plan. Most of them look at the survival and the growth, but they don't look at business continuity plan as an activity, a value-adding activity. Although these document may not be used, but it comes very handy when this type of unexpected events take us on a surprise. So
Correct.
that even small businesses must spend quality time in having a very simple 2-page document, 3-page document, so that they manage this type of crisis better. That is one. And second is someone asked about do you have a framework for managing customer? In guiding businesses, we always tell them to focus on an exercise called direct customer profitability, which helps understanding the performance of every customer's profitability from the margins, from the overheads, etc. So if you have a structured direct customer profitability exercise done for the full set of customers, you will be able to understand where to invest, where to discontinue them, and whom to focus more and invest more so that you can be profitable. That's what I thought I should share.
Absolutely correct. Thank you, Sampath.
Thank you.
Yes, next we have Premanand sir.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful session. And I thank my friend Vijay for sending me this invite and suddenly asked me to join this. I'm working in the oil and gas industry. Most of your discussions went around the business community, how the business owners should deal with things, what they can do to help the employees, people like me. I just wanted to know, I want you to just give an overview idea or a touch base on few aspects, like, okay, what is going to be the future business opportunities? Now I think the whole world is going to rethink about, okay, what if another situation like this is going to come, and what are the business opportunities in that perspective for any company or any startups to begin with. I take a wonderful idea that you have taken a personal verification through an app. Such changes, the new thinking, what is it going to be, which becomes a business opportunity. And most of your advice or discussions went around the company and the employer and all those things. But what is your advice going to be for a general public or a salaried persons like me? How to deal with the situation, and how to be prepared for anything worse. Of course, I'm not thinking negative. We hope to come out of this pandemic situation or anything in future. Barring the insurance and covering and all those things. Then the education industry, I strongly believe that education can eradicate poverty and inequality in the society. So what impact it is going to have on the education industry right now, or what is going to be the future for the education industry? Like, is it going to be going online? You are going to be, classroom sessions, and thus by you are reducing the infrastructure cost, building, you are going to avoid the buildings constructions. Are you going to go? Are we going to go really on a virtual platform to take up the classes? All these questions are coming to mind. If you could just give an insight into these aspects,
So
it will
thanks.
really be
Definitely. Thanks for putting across some very valuable, important questions. I will take one after another. If I'm skipping something, please remind me. You are in industry which is going through a lot of stress, oil and gas. Okay, so you're obviously any company which has got direct connections with the oil and gas, because of the extremely low prices in the markets. You are going through a lot of all your companies, irrespective of the size of the company, they are going through a lot of stress, and that will continue for some time, no doubt about it. But to me, in what way which industry is going to change? Seriously, let me tell you, many of it may not change drastically, but some industries are going to be anyway affected. Tourism is going to be heavily affected for the next, say, 6 months to 1 year. And hence travel industry will get affected for a substantial period of time. Hospitality industry is going to be affected massively for the next period, 6 to 12 months minimum. And people will all, even if people start traveling, people will start looking at budget hotels. The economics will play a very big role in terms of what people are going to use. I'm talking about majority of the people. So primarily these industries will get affected, but other than that, I don't think any other industry is going to be massively hit. But there'll be a shift when it comes to computing, when it comes to your handling of accounts, etc. I think more and more database management, more and more people will move towards cloud. So if everything is sitting on the cloud today, your work becomes a lot more easier in terms of accessing your data wherever you are. So the cloud computing, so people are in that space. They even as an employee, you will have amazing opportunities to grow your career in that space. So anything to do with digital, although there has been a lot of noise, hype around it all along, but now I think we are coming to reality where if you are specializing in digital space, yes, especially with reference to cloud, you will have very rosy times going forward. But other than that, I don't think as I said, you have to consume, you have to buy, you have to spend money, you have to educate your children, you have to buy clothes. So all of that will remain. Even apparel industry is also believed to maybe have a tough time for a specific period of time. But come this Diwali, if you take India, Diwali time, that cycle will change. That's my faith. If there is no lockdown, and the apparel industry anyway going through a lot of stress now, the stores are not open, and when the stores are also open, you're not going to buy a lovely suit for yourself right now. That's not your core objective. But then come when Diwali followed by Christmas, New Year, or the season starts, maybe people, it's a habit. You cannot change the habit of the people. When you fall sick, you take tablets, you avoid certain types of food, and doctor says continue the same diet. How long do you do it? You will go back to your normal diet. You may minimize something which is harmful to you, but you will have to eat what you have been eating. It's very difficult for you to completely change your habit. Similarly, we will not change our habits, but as an organization, we should embrace the changes that are happening, that are impacting the organization. Especially embracing technology. There are live examples that we have seen. Kodak, such a name in photography, photography, because they refused to embrace digital space. They thought that would not change the scenario at all. They completely lost the battle. And even our own Nokia as a brand, because they were extremely slow in shifting the software to Android, the embracing Android, they lost a huge set of customers, and they were perhaps having a market share of 70% some point of time in India. And where are they today? Of course, now they come back, but still they lost a significant market share. There are thousands of examples of companies which fail to appreciate the changes happening around them. Such changes you have to embrace, but you need not drastically change for the sake of changing. You need not do that. And as far as employees are concerned, you are associated with oil and gas. You may be on the technical side, non-technical side. No, believe me, you can always move to certain other allied industries if you want to have a, you have to keep exploring. If you are keen, if you are wanting a change, you have to start exploring. And as I said, an entrepreneur loses value, an entrepreneur loses revenues, valuation, etc. An employee also at some level, especially after the midlife crisis, sometimes he may have to compromise on the rank, on the designation, and even on the package. But you can continue your life work. Sometimes you may even move up. We don't know. So it is not necessary that you continue with the same industry based on your own experience. You can always shift to allied industries. Sometimes people will look at recruiting people from other industries because you will come with different kind of experiences, challenges that you are faced, which may be relevant to the recruiting industry. That's my. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. I have two questions. One on a lighter mode, since you follow the Talaivar very keenly, it's most like a question like she loves me not. So the question is, will he or will he not? Will he take that final plunge into politics? That is my first question on the lighter side. Secondly, on a more serious note, on your talk, you touched upon in parts through your discussion about what I wanted to mention. You talked about cash flows. You talked about the possibility of your customer may go out of business. What I want to say is about the receivable chain. You also spoke about apparels. So let's look at the receivable chain for an apparel. It starts with fiber, then it goes into the spinning mill, the fabric, the garments, the distributor, and finally on the retail store. And at this present position, whichever industry you take, the receivable chain is completely broken.
Correct.
When we spoke about, when you talk about chains, if it breaks at one point, it's the entire chain. We say that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So the question is, how much time will this, receivable chain to be back to normal? Will it ever be the same again? In fact, there is a thing about the Tirupur market that there are some experts saying that maybe 20% of the market, the lower segment may get wiped out, the players. What is your call on all these, sir?
Fine. On the first, we'll address the lighter question.
Okay, sir.
I'm not his ambassador. He doesn't need, to tell what he would do. But I think he has given very clear, announcement that he's very serious as regards politics is concerned. But the beauty is, again, just like how he ventured into films and with a huge differentiation. He was not following anybody. Similarly, I think even with reference to politics, he wants to be a different kind of a politician. So if the customers, in this case, if the public is willing to accept those changes, a new set of political, political culture, political means, then perhaps I think he's very serious. Otherwise, he will not be talking about it for such a long period of time. When I say long period of time, last 1 year, 1.5 years, or 2 years. So I don't know. For me, it doesn't make any big difference because for me, he's first an amazing actor and I'm a simple devotee of Rajinikanth. And coming to your second question, see, this again depends. You are right. It will hit the entire supply chain. It will hit the supply chain. And everybody has to face it. And I don't know how many people are going to write off some money that you have raised even till March. There'll be some write-offs. There'll be some bad debts because some companies may not be able to pay you. Okay, so there will be some write-off also for the last financial year. I'm sure about it. If you are very lucky, you have a good karma, then you will lose a little. Else you may lose a little more. But again, that's why I said again and again I spoke of the exceptional, good, fair customers. See, if you are servicing good set of customers, strong customers, nice customers. It need not be large. Okay, it's not just large MNCs and large Indian companies, even mid-sized companies. Culturally, background-wise, management-wise, strong companies. Generally, you can be safe that there could be delays, but you will get your dues. Because the culture of organization is such. They may renegotiate with you. 60 days becomes 90 days now. 90 days becomes 180 days. Or part payment will come to the entire supply chain. So your money may be safe. There is a famous axiom: don't worry. Normally people say your money is safe. They don't pay you, but they say your money is safe. So with reference to these companies, your money will be safe, but there will be a delay in getting the money. But then that's what the government is now trying to support. No, the SME segment being funded by banks a little more easily. NBFC is now going to be cash rich. They may fund you some other part. So if you have to fill the gap right now, you have to resort to all of this. But I'm a firm believer that don't increase your debts at this point of time. Okay, recapitalize your company if it is possible. If it is a partnership firm, it is a proprietary concern or a company, try to bring in more capital and capitalize your company today. That will be better rather than going for huge debts, because there is still that VUCA is still persisting. There is still some kind of uncertainty. So this is not a great time to take chances and borrow heavily. But if you have to borrow a bit, and I'm sure that rates also will be extremely low and reasonable, if not low, maybe you have to resort to such line of credit if required. And you in turn, you negotiate with your suppliers, with your team, with your other service providers, and pass it on. Your 30 days, 60 days now will become 90 will become 180, and so on. So that's the only way to do it. It will settle down. It will surely settle down fast.
Yes, sir. Next we have Dr. Rupa Gunaseelan, Director of BSMED.
Good evening, sir. Nice meeting you in Zoom.
Thank you. Same here.
Sir, I have two questions to you. One is, we are facing lifetime situation. There is no doubt about it. And people of the world developed some scars and phobia by this time. So do you think that this scar or phobia is going to reflect on the products which are going to come in later stages, and also the market? So if that is so, how deep it is going to be, and how the parameter is going to take its role? This particular parameter is going to take its role. How long it is going to be? If it is going to decide on certain aspects, how long? This is my first question. Question number two is something related to the Rajini inclination you have. So everyone know Rajini, and his style is the big bang behind his brand, powerful brand, and he is a big personal brand and ever enduring brand. Very long period a brand is getting sustained and living in the minds of people. And apart from style, what other qualities you observed in him that made him as a enduring and a tall brand?
Fantastic. And the second question is a lot more easier than the first question.
I know, sir.
And the first question, I'm not a technocrat to say in what way products are going to get affected and so on. All that I can say is I have faith that so much of hype is being created. Okay. And if certain things have to happen, they will happen. You and I will not be able to control at all. We cannot control. And let us worry about aspects where we have some control, or believe that we have some control, number. But the positive side is in terms of how it is going to impact the country positively in a nice fashion. I have a lot of beliefs, because the country's reputation is now gearing up even more better globally. And because of some distress and very poor experiences faced by other nations, in China, especially now, people will look at India in a very, very positive direction. And we all know that generally again, there are always exceptions. Generally, India, is a trustworthy destination for investment, and people work hard, and you have a lot of decent infrastructure. I won't say not equivalent of other nations, but we are building it up. So the opportunity for the country is going to be fantastic. If the opportunity is going to be fantastic for the country, it is in a way going to favor most of us or all of us in whatever you're doing, whether you are a manufacturing unit, whether you're in service sector, you're an employee, everywhere you are going to see a positive impact. So I think that is what I can tell you. Don't worry about it. Don't think about negative aspects at all. And if something has to happen, it has to happen. On the brand endurability and Mr. Rajinikanth, if you take, see, he didn't become a brand in a single day. But I think the biggest lesson that I have learned from him is, which can be applied by all of us in whatever we do, is the key differentiator in whatever you want to do. What is the differentiation you bring in, to the customers? That man achieved it in 1975 when he was introduced. Else how do you expect somebody, a very ordinary looking, those days a dark hero was never accepted, and you had great talent around you, including Shivaji Ganeshan or MGR, Kamal Hassan, and you find somebody who doesn't even speak good Tamil, cannot dance, doesn't have conventional good looks. How do you expect somebody to? So he created something which nobody created. So he used his own line, he deployed in his career itself. So that's a starting point, and that is his unique selling proposition. He was consistently focusing on his mannerisms, his style quotient, and always believed that content is the king for his movies, and he created a great amount of audience. And as I said, it's a separate subject, and that subject that we have to have on some other day.
You're right, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next we have Dr. Venkatapati sir, our former director of BSMED.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. I really do not know what to ask. Maybe one thing is, it was the flow is so nice that you have made two domains, one on branding of a person, the other one on the business. But on the business side, if we take the B2B is different, B2C is different. But what are all some of the prescriptions? You have not made any description, mostly prescriptions. And most of the prescriptions may suit either one, but not both.
That's correct.
And if that is the case, if the prescriptions that you are giving is how far it would be for the B2C, because persons like me or some of the tribes may be really interested in B2C. If we go into B2C, mostly it is unpredictable, dynamic, and ever-changing. At least in B2B, there are some static and probably some the thing that you could be able to refer, understand, and reinforce. But to me, it appears that B2C is going to have a tough time in the days to come. But the optimism that you have been showing and you have been sharing with us is really remarkable. And now I think I may have to revise some of my opinions. And it is one of the good things to happen that we heard you today. And it is not a question, it is only a sharing. Anything that you want to share with us, anything further, please. Thank you. Nice hearing you.
I'm humbled with your reviews. Thank you so much. In fact, the snippets that you shared now, I'm picking up certain lessons. You are perfectly correct. I'm into B2B space, so I will talk more about B2B. It's very natural for me. B2C, my views are like this. The loyalty with reference to B2C, what was existent 10 years back, it is not there today. Today it is not there. So it is extremely difficult for a business who are directly addressing the consumers, individual consumers especially, to stay very, very relevant. You take even taxi aggregators, there is absolutely no loyalty. People resort to somebody who's offering the lowest price as on that moment, at that moment. So this is where a lot of invention, a lot of innovation, a lot of strategic planning has to go through. It depends on the supply. See, I'll give an example. Yesterday I went to a store to pick up something for somebody who's living alone. Old lady, so I had to buy something and send it through. She wanted a specific brand. I went there, that brand was not available, and I could see some other food items. So it's a consumable item. I saw something else which was absolutely unknown brand, but same product. I didn't want to buy because to me, if it is a consumable item, you trust a brand, or if one or two brands, 3 or 4 brands, you don't go beyond that. You don't take a chance. So maybe I come from an old school of thought as regards this is concerned. Okay, but I still feel that this brand, which is essentially a trust, will still exist. But some of the businesses will not be based on brand, the prestige associated with the brand. the emotional connect with the brand. It is purely price based. It's completely price based. I gave an example of taxi aggregators also. So that will continue. So based on the consumer space you are in, you have to redesign your, first of all, your supply chain has to be fantastic. Yesterday, this product was not available. So that day, if I had picked up some other product, the brand would have lost some business. Okay. So this is only one store, one consumer. Imagine how your front end supply chain should be excellent in case you don't want to lose out on a customer. And very rarely there are few brands where you postpone your purchase. If people are, you ask a smoker if he's smoking a particular brand, he will not buy any other brand. He will, if it is not available, he will walk to the next street or 2 streets beyond to buy his particular brand, because it is extremely brand. They are very brand loyal customers. But some are not like that. Some are not. Some products are not like that. So it depends on the space you operate. So you to sum it up, you have to be in touch with your end consumers constantly. Engage them very, very. That's why social media is extremely important. And third, your supply chain has to be excellent, and you derive a lot of attractive trade schemes for the retailers to embrace your products. These are the only things I can think of. Leave alone quality being good. Quality has to be good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Next, we have Selvakumar sir online.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Selvakumar, how are you?
Fine, sir. Sir, என்னோட கொஸ்டின் சிம்பிளான கொஸ்டின் தான். பப்ளிக் கேதரிங் ரிலேட்டட் பிசினஸஸ் இப்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா இப்ப போட்டோகிராஃபி, அப்புறம் வந்து ஈவென்ட் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட், தியேட்டர், இந்த மாதிரி பிசினஸ் எல்லாம் எப்படி சார் இருக்கும் ஃபியூச்சர்ல?
சார் கொஞ்சம் அஃபெக்ட் ஆகும் சார். இப்போ பாத்தீங்கன்னா இப்போ ஸ்லோவா ஓப்பன் ஆக போறது வந்து ஈவன் ஸ்கூல்ஸ் நாட் பி ஓப்பன்ட், லீவ் அலோன் தியேட்டர். ஸோ தே ஆர் கோயிங் டு ஹேவ் மச் மோர் என்ன சொல்றது, அடி வாங்க போறாங்க. இட்ஸ் கொஸ்டின் ஆஃப் டைம். இஃப் அதர்ஸ் ஆர் கோயிங் டு ஓப்பன் சே ஃப்ரம் ஜூன் ஆர் ஸோ, ஸ்லோவா தான். என்ன பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் ஜூன் உடனே மே 3rd, 5th எல்லாருமே திறக்க மாட்டாங்க. ஜூன் எல்லாம் திறக்க மாட்டாங்க. It will be a staggered depending upon the hotspot areas and so on. But theaters and all will come last. Even places of tourism, you take the zoo எடுத்துங்க, இல்ல வேற ஏதாவது tourist spot எடுத்துங்க, they will be given last priority in terms of, because people will converge in large numbers. அது கொஞ்சம் ப்ராப்ளம் வரும்ட்டு. But as I said, it is habit, sir. போகாது. It will not go. But cinema viewing, தியேட்டர்ஸ் உடைய இது வந்து இன்னொரு கொஞ்ச நாள்ல கொஞ்சம் மாறும். இப்போ ஓடிடி இஸ் டேக்கிங் லாட் ஆஃப் ஷேர், பட் அது வந்து இப்போ மெட்ரோ சிட்டி, மேஜர் சிட்டிஸ் தான் நிறைய இருக்கு. தட் வில் ஆல்சோ டெஃபினெட்லி டிராவல் டு செவரல் பார்ட்ஸ் ஆஃப் த கண்ட்ரி. நிறைய போகும். மெனி வில் கெட் ஹூக்ட் ஆன் டு அமேசான், நெட்ஃபிளிக்ஸ், ஹாட்ஸ்டார் அண்ட் சோ ஆன், விச் வில் ஷூர்லி ஹேப்பன். நியூஸே அதுல தான் பார்க்க ஆரம்பிப்பாங்க. டிவியே கொஞ்சம் குறையிறது வியூவிங். இப்போ பாத்தீங்கன்னா இந்த கரண்ட் ஜென்ரேஷன் இஸ் ஆல்சோ நாட் வியூவிங் டிவி அட் ஆல். தே எய்தர் சீட் இன் லேப்டாப் ஆர் இன் தேர் ஃபோன். டிவிங்கிறதே போயிடும் கொஞ்ச நாள் கழிச்சு போகும். மேபி டிவி வில் பி யூட்டிலைஸ் ஒன்லி ஃபார் வாட்சிங் மூவிஸ், பிக் ஸ்கிரீன் டிவி ஃபார் வாட்சிங் மூவிஸ். பட் ஈவென்ட்ஸ் வந்து ரெண்டு மாதிரி நான் பிரிக்கிறேன். You take an individual speaker. Sometimes even I go and speak at some events, sometimes, and there are some professional speakers also. அவங்க பிசினஸ் கொஞ்ச நாளைக்கு அடி வாங்கும், டெஃபினட்டா வாங்கும். மேபி தட் வில் பிகம் டிஜிட்டல். ஃபார் சம் டைம் இட் கேன் பிகம் அ டிஜிட்டல் மீன்ஸ் கம்ப்ளீட்லி. வேர் இன்னைக்கு வந்து ஜூம்ல நடக்கிற மாதிரி இல்லாம இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் கூட வேற ஏதாவது டெக்னாலஜி கிரியேட் பண்ணி, where the large population can either, for example, if a large IT companies, if they have to be addressed, team of 2,000 people, 1,000 people also, maybe in their individual desk, they'll be able to view the speaker talk. It may not be as effective as how the speaker addresses on a stage. We know that is even more impactful. But கொஞ்ச நாளைக்கு அப்படி போறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு. But after இதெல்லாம் முடிஞ்ச அப்புறம் it will bounce back. It cannot be run in this fashion. See, this is the first time we are seeing such a pandemic. அதனால நம்ம இதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப இருக்குமோ பார்க்கணும். After 1 year, that will take a long time. See, normally ஒரு virus, this is what I read. I'm not an expert. I re-clarify that subject. But it will take a longer time, 12 months to 18 months for such huge events to take place. So since you are into perhaps event management, சில ஈவென்ட் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் நிறைய டிஜிட்டலா நடக்கும். ஆனா இது ஷூரா திருப்பி வரும். எப்போன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது, பட் வந்துதான் ஆகணும். You cannot live like this. எல்லாமே டிஜிட்டல் ஆக்க முடியாது. You need to be personally, and otherwise it is not impactful. Even movie watching is not the same. When you go to a theater, it is different. When you watch in TV, it is different. It depends on what you want.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Next we have Raghuram sir online.
Hello, sir. P C Balasubramanian, your session was very nice. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, one of the background பயங்கரமா
I created, just to please you. Yeah, thank you.
Oh my God, இது திருப்பதிக்கு லட்டு கொடுக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கு.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, after the slowdown, I think Gilbert also mentioned China, people got into a spending spree. So, one school of thought, this lockdown, the pandemic, the people, especially people who believe in the theory of karma theory, believe we didn't do it right. நம்மளுக்கு கொடுத்த ஒரு privilege-யோ அல்லது something நம்ம abuse பண்ணிட்டோம் இல்லனா misuse பண்ணிட்டோம். அதுக்காக it's a period where we need to sit back and ஒரு prisonல ஒரு prisoner-ஐ போடும்போது வெளியே போகும்போது ஒரு பழைய மாதிரியே வாழ்ந்துட்டு இருந்தாருன்னா அதுல எந்த ஒரு அந்த prison அவருக்கு எந்த விதமான ஒரு reforming கொடுக்கல இல்லையா? He needs to some certain change certain basic things. அப்ப இப்ப நீங்க US பாத்தீங்கன்னா 25% of the world's consumption it's consumed by US. So upon the rest of the world avangala role model vechite that is a saying, people use, I mean, what is happening in the world people are using other people and loving the products. அந்த மாதிரி போயிட்டு இருக்கு. அப்ப அந்த மாதிரி மைண்ட் செட்டை நம்ம அப்படியே தான் மறுபடியும் வாழ போறோமா? ஒரு கன்சியூமரிசமா தான் போயிட்டு இருக்க போறோமா? Should we kind of learn some lesson and எதுக்கு அதையும் prioritize பண்ணி கொஞ்சம் ஒரு மினிமலிசம் மாதிரி ஒரு எக்ஸ்ட்ரீம் இதுக்கு போகலைன்னா கூட அந்த மைண்ட்லெஸ் கன்சம்ஷன் கொஞ்சம் ஸ்லோ டவுன் பண்றது பெட்டரா? அது ரிலேட்டடா ஏதாவது ஒரு லெஜிஸ்லேச்சர் மாதிரி கூட வந்தா நல்லதா? These are all my basic questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We are all, end of the day, human beings. Our habits will not easily change, number one. Some regulatory means will come. For example, Swachh Bharat will take a much more severe, what I call, implementation because of hygiene aspects. Rule it's a shame to see. So read all these articles. Spit pannaka, public unit pannaka, you'll be fined. Maybe fine worthingly we should have stopped all of this. Okay, so settle on regulatory kondu vandha mudiyumna, we have to go by all these regulatory measures.
Okay.
But minimalism again is a subjective, very very subjective aspect. For example, if you are buying 3 shirts in a year, and you feel it is minimalism, it is your subjective view. Probably I feel that if I buy 6, it is still I'm compromising a lot. So that is a very very subjective aspect. But you need economy to progress, so there has to be production, there has to be consumption, otherwise. But maybe people realize that you will marry in certain environmental factors along with progress. Maybe so idhula all world powers idu nation involve anatha idu helpful irukum. Or individual can make a small difference, fine, or community can make a small difference, but the nation has to get involved in all of this. And it is slightly difficult in a democratic country, we know, because people may not follow many things because fear of not following inga namakku kadayad. So that's why US la pathina, even with all of this, people are just going out. You cannot curtail them in the house. You rule konde vara mudiyadu. Very difficult in the US because they have freedom to that extent. India la, I'm very very thankful and very surprised because although it is the largest democracy, people are by and large ellarume obey பண்றோம், which is excellent. That shows our culture, our fear, and our willingness to obey the leadership. So ஒரு இதுதான். பட் ரொம்பலாம் அப்படி போகாது. It will not. There will be certainly some measures that be taken, I feel they should take, but people will have to consume. People, minimalismலாம் ஒரு subjective aspect தான். நீங்க 2 வேளை சாப்பிட்டாலே போறோம், இன்னொருத்த 4 வேளையில இருந்து he will cut down to 3. So அது மாறாது சார், மாறாது.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Next we have Priya Madam online.
Yeah. Hi, Balas. I have a small question. You said like you finished writing one book during this lockdown period and started with the other. So just wanted to have some brief on what is this book going to be, the next release of yours.
Next release will be perhaps that book should have been released even before this lockdown, because I feel people complicate their lives a lot. Okay, they define what is a great life. People define what is a great life. What is it? Generally, good money, good house, good family, fine. And I have to visit exotic places, travel a lot. And thanks to social media now, unless you put a lot of new pictures in Instagram that you are travel, you're leading a great life, people don't look at you very seriously. So you want to project yourself in greater terms. You believe this is great. It's nice, but you feel this is the greatest thing to do. You go to very expensive restaurants, you throw parties, you wear expensive brands, you buy expensive bags. So idella and the mindset of the point. And in the lockdown lay, you would have spoken to some of your friends. Some people barring business numbers or employment issues, reduced salary or reduced revenues for the businessman. Normally, some people would just carry on with the day. Fine, I'm busy, or no problem. But you will find majority of them don't know what to do. They feel they are feeling very bored. I'm not able to go out. I don't know what to do. I'm feeling very bored, very sick. Why? Because they don't know how to manage their time. Because they don't know how to even appreciate nice small things around us, which can be rejoiced, and for us to lead a very nice, enriched life. So my subject is not a preachy subject. As a common man, just like you, just like me, just like many others, as a common man, what I do to have a nice life is what I'm writing. That's the book, next book. God willing, I will do another book around Talaivar.
Okay. Thanks, Bala. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Next we have Shankar Narayanan, sir.
Bala, sir, it was a great presentation.
Thank you,
I have 3 questions, 2 to you and 1 to Mr. Sampath on the subject which he spoke. So the question number 1 is on the B2B improvisation or the innovation which you did, like doing a digitalization of verification at the customer place kind of thing. So on similar thoughts, if somebody is having this kind of solution, don't you think that the company to which you are going to give this particular solution, can they themselves do this automation of digitalization and move this intermediate person or the B2B company from the business, is what one question which I have. Like in our own business, we have some classic examples where today we have somebody who is managing our website. During this crisis, we didn't have anyone at their office. So we were thinking, can we take over and run it from our end, doing the same activities and exercises. So on that line, I'm asking you this question. That is question number 1. Question number 2, I have 2 colleagues or 2 friends of mine whom I know. They quit one company and they were able to join another company, and in that 1 week's time, this lockdown and everything came in, and the companies were not willing to take them immediately. They said, we will come back to you after the lockdown. I just wanted to ask you, from your area of business, because of a delay in your verification or something like that, are people there without a job in this particular lockdown period? Just a random question, you can probably answer or ignore the answer also. This is 2 questions to you. And the third one is to Mr. Sampath, sir, on the business continuity plan. For instance, we, from our company perspective, we did have a business continuity plan. And we had a disaster recovery plan, we had a redundancy plan, all these were there in place. But what happened is, with the lockdown, the entire country was shut. So we didn't know what to do. So the entire plan had to be shifted to a totally different area, and we had to work down on a different plan. For instance, to quote an example, Airtel has a call center at Bangalore where they answer most of the language calls of South India. And what usually will happen is, if something is going wrong in Bangalore, they will route the calls to Pune and they will take the calls. And in such scenario, when Bangalore as well as Pune both are shut down, they will not have a redundancy plan or a business continuity plan. Probably something else will have to come down. So I just wanted his views on that. And was it during this lockdown, or he was talking about something for future or something like that? These are the 3 questions I have to both of you. And sir, at the end, before we close down, we want you to at least talk 2-3 minutes about what Rajni sir told you, reading your book. Just 2-3 minutes, that is enough, sir.
Fine. Now I'll answer the first 2 questions. You said you created the app, and maybe the end user, the company themselves, could utilize some other service provider who is into this space instead of going through a company like ours, an intermediary.
Not even some other service provider.
With the candidate directly.
No, they can themselves create. See, like if a company A is engaging you to verify a particular candidate, and you have developed a digital platform to verify, can't that particular company A can create the digital platform and verify themselves instead of giving it to you? It's a simple question.
Let me tell you. This background verification is a specialized field by itself. Okay, it's 15-year-old in the country, more or less 15 years old. This industry itself. Whereas this can be handled by the respective companies. They need not even go through any other third-party agency to do this. But why they engage is, since it's a very specialized field, their own HR department will not be able to do this because this is only one component. This address verification is only one component. There are at least 6 to 7 components that go into this verification. If a large employer will not be able to handle this, even today, even a smaller employer who is just recruiting 5 resources a month are using these services because it is more authentic, faster, and even economically viable. You cannot have your own department to run it. A large company, if they have to create a department for this, it comes at a very high fixed cost. And here it is completely on variable basis. Okay, today I recruit 100 people, I pay only for 100 people. So that way they will not do this. And component wise also, they're not split and give for simple reason. It is like buffet. You want the chef to prepare everything on his own. Whether he outsources by himself is different. But you will not take the headache of buying this product from one fellow, another product from another fellow, and then take the headache and responsibility. So that is why this is the most viable model for the customers also to go with this process. On the second issue, onboarding will not be stopped because there is some aspect of verification which is still pending. You can always onboard pending some verification. Okay, it depends on the company. Today, if they are putting on hold some of these heavily recruited size of people, or even specifically some high rank profile people also, it's primarily because the company may not be very certain or they don't want to take up the cost right away. So they are only postponing their decisions, nothing to do with background verification. In fact, even today we are handling verification for a lot of our customers. Some aspects cannot be done. For example, if an institution has to give a confirmation on your academic qualification and that the institute is completely locked down and they don't have digital space at all, there is no way you can get the information from them. So pending that, you can keep delivering. We keep delivering to our customers. So it depends on the customer. If he wants to still onboard, pending that verification, he can always onboard. Doesn't matter at all. And the final question I'll reply after Sambat replies.
Good evening, and Mr. Shankar, I have to congratulate you for having a business continuity plan, as most of the companies give least priority for this subject. That's one. And second is, generally, business continuity plan is for anticipating unexpected challenges like factory fire, flood, IT disruption, server crashing, large dependence on a single source of supplier, single customer, and major failures which you cannot handle immediately, for which you need to have a plan of how you intend to do. The one like the virus, or the GCC blockade which happened for Qatar, it is beyond apprehension of an individual or a particular set of people in the organization. So you must constantly update the BCP to look for new reasons which might affect your business model. You should not have been in the first place when you developed the BCP. So there is one. And second is, many companies develop business continuity plan, but they don't know where even the plan is. They would have developed the plan, kept it well bounded in a cupboard, and when the actual crisis happens, they may not be able to locate. So from the business continuity plan engagement perspective, you need to constantly update at least once in 6 months. I know it is a very boring subject, but constantly every 6 months one has to review and update and what is relevant, not relevant, etc. But this one is beyond our capability. So it has come onto a pace like a rabbit, night light on a rabbit. But if you are having a culture of having a business continuity plan, I'm sure you are far ahead on the curve in managing the crisis, as to those companies which have never had a PCP on with them. So that's you need to, if you have one, you please review the document for exigencies which may come in future, which you thought is not going to happen, but this is a good time, have a brainstorming from bottom up and then update the document.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
And your final question as to what தலைவர் had to say, he was really surprised that I am talking about Panch Tantra, Rajini's Panch Tantra, my first book with him. He said you have derived so many, you have given a lot of narrative from each of these so-called punch dialogues, and he said I never even thought there could be so much into all these dialogues. I said it's a derivation. There are two types of lessons: formal education, and if you're a believer that you can learn a lot by observing people, observing nature, or even certain incidents from incidents, then it's a different kind of a learning. We all can practice that. I said you are a legendary figure. So since I've been following you right from your entry into film world, and this is something that struck me, that when such statements are uttered to a very legendary, very respectable personality like you, it travels a required distance. So he was genuinely glad, and then I requested him to give 3 or 4 lines about this book, because the book will become popular for Rajinikanth. Mr. Rajinikanth endorsed us in some fashion. He was very reluctant. He said it's all about whatever I spoken, so I don't want to give any lines. I respected his decision, but believe me, after I gave the final copy before it went into print, within 3-4 hours he called me and told me magnanimity. That is what is called as magnanimity. He said he's revisiting his decision, and he said he will be very, very happy to give 4 lines, and those lines anyway got incorporated in the book also. And next day again he called, he said he will give the same thing in Tamil also. So sometimes you may not get what you want, but if you are tolerant and patient, things will automatically happen. That shows his magnanimity and my good luck also. So that is one of the remarks, that one of the experiences I had while writing this book. There are plenty, but we'll reserve it for some other occasion.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Last, we have Karthik Kumar, sir. He will going to be summing up all the questions which has been received from the chat. Karthik Kumar, sir. And sir, to introduce you, Bala sir, Karthik Kumar sir வந்து novel writer ராஜேஷ் குமார் சாரோடைய சன்ங்க.
Oh, fantastic. Good evening, sir. Hello.
Sir, ஒரு நிமிஷம், அவர் மியூட்ல இருக்காரு. ஒரு நிமிஷம். Yes, sir. Yeah.
வணக்கம் பாலா சார்.
வணக்கம் சார்.
உங்க செஷன் ஃபுல்லா ரஜினிஃபைடா இருந்தது சார். ஆக்சுவலி ஒரு வினாடி கூட உங்க வார்த்தைகளை வந்து கேட்க முடியாம இருந்தது இல்ல. பிகாஸ் ஆல் யூ டாக் அபவுட் இஸ் ஆக்சுவலி என்ன இப்ப வேணும், என்ன வேண்டாம் அப்படின்னு கிளியரா சொல்லிட்டீங்க. போத் இன் பிசினஸ் அண்ட் ஆல்சோ இன் பர்சனல் லைஃப். மோர் ஐ லைக் இட் இஸ் இன் பர்சனல் லைஃப். யூ ஹேவ் டு ரீஇன்வென்ட் யுவர் செல்ஃப் அப்படின்னு சொன்னது வந்து ரொம்ப அற்புதமான விஷயம். ஏன்னா நிறைய இடத்துல வந்து பொங்கல் பண்டிகை அப்பதான் வீடை தூசி தட்டுவோம். இப்போ வந்து கொரோனா நமக்கு வந்து ஒரு பொங்கல் பண்டிகை கொடுத்துருக்கு, நம்மளே தூசி தட்டு இருக்கு. ஸோ யூ ஹவ் கிவன் ரைட் எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் ஹவு டு ஸ்டார்ட் இட். தேங்க்ஸ் ஃபார் தட் சார். தேங்க்ஸ் ஃபார் மணி ஆல்சோ இந்த செக்ஷன் நீங்க உங்களே இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் பண்ணதுக்கு. இத 2-3 கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கேட்டிருக்காங்க. இது எல்லாமே வந்து கொஞ்சம் கிளப் பண்ணி கொடுத்துருக்கேன் சார்.
சரி.
இந்த கொரோனா வந்து என்ன கற்றுக் கொடுத்ததுக்கு அவசியம், அத்தியாவசியம், அனாவசியம் அப்படின்னு 3 இது இருக்கு இல்லைங்களா? அதை எப்படி கத்து கொடுக்குமா, இல்ல இதை வந்து இன்னும் கடந்து போவாங்களா மக்கள்?
சார், இது வந்து என்ன கத்து கொடுத்துருக்கோம்னாக்கா, நமக்கு நிறைய கஷ்டத்தை எப்படி அனுபவிக்கணுங்கிறத கத்து கொடுத்துருக்கு. See, we cannot take life for granted. நினைச்சு கூட பார்க்கல இல்ல. இன்னைக்கு நாளைக்கு இப்படி ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷன் வரும் நம்ம எதிர்பார்க்கவே இல்லை. So life cannot be taken for granted. So live for the now. I am a firm believer that இன்னைக்கு நீ நல்லா ஹாப்பியா இருந்தா நீ ஹாப்பியா. Don't postpone happiness because you don't know how you are going to be tomorrow. நாளைக்கு எப்படி இருக்க போறோம் தெரியாது. இந்த ரொம்ப ஃபியூச்சர். See, 2 விஷயம் அது. ஏன் தலைவர் சொல்லவே சொல்றேன், சாவர நாள நினைச்சா வாழ்நாள் நரகமாயிடும். ஓகே, சிவாஜியோட டைலாக் வரும், வெரி ரெலவென்ட் டைலாக் அது. லிவ் இன் த நவ். இன்னைக்கு இரு, கொஞ்சம் பிளான் பண்ணிக்கோ. பட் அதுக்குன்னு ரொம்ப ஃபியூச்சர் இன்னொரு 10 வருஷம் கழிச்சு என்ன, 20 வருஷம் கழிச்சு என்ன, 5 வருஷம் கழிச்சு என்ன ரொம்ப மண்டை உடச்சுக்க வேண்டாம். இட் will only add stress. ஸோ இன்னைக்கு இருக்கிறத ரிலீஸ் பண்ணி சந்தோஷமா வாழணும். 2வது, கஷ்டம் வந்ததுனாக்கா, ஏதாவது ஒரு டிஃபிகல்டிஸ் எல்லாருக்குமே வரும். See, நம்ம எல்லாருமே பர்சனலாவே நம்ம ஹெல்த் ப்ராப்ளம் வரலாம். சில பேருக்கு ஏதாவது ஹார்ட் ப்ராப்ளம் வந்து ஒரு 6 மாசம் நான் ஃபங்க்ஷன் வந்திருப்போம். வேற ஏதாவது ஹெல்த் ப்ராப்ளம் வரலாம். வேற ஏதாவது பிரச்சனை, வேலை போயிருக்கும், 1 year வேலை கிடைச்சிருக்காது. ஸோ ஆல் ஆஃப் அஸ் இண்டிவிஜுவலி நம்ம we have sailed through. பிசினஸ் ஆரம்பிச்சு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 6 years ரொம்ப மோசமா வந்திருக்கும், பெரிய லாஸ் வந்திருக்கும், பெரிய ஒரு பேட் டெட்ஸ் வந்திருக்கும். ஸோ இது எல்லாமே போறோம். இப்போ என்னன்னா உலகமே கஷ்டத்துல இருக்கு. The entire world is suffering. So இந்த கஷ்டத்தை எப்படி தாண்டி நம்ம வந்து சஸ்டெயின் ஆக போறோம், உடம்பையும் பார்த்துக்கணும், மனசையும் பார்த்துக்கணும், தைரியமா இருக்கணும், மத்தவங்களுக்கு தைரியத்தை கொடுக்கணும். இதுதான் பிரைம் ரெஸ்பான்ஸ். இது நம்ம ஜெனரேஷன், ஐ திங்க் திஸ் இஸ் த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் அண்ட் பெர்ஹாப்ஸ் த லாஸ்ட் டைம் வி வில் see. அதனால இதுதான் நம்மளுக்கு கத்து கொடுத்துருக்கே தவிர இது அவ்வளவுதான். இது ஸ்டில் ஒரு பாசிங் கிளவுடா அது போகும்னு. இந்த கிளவுட் வில் டேக் மோர் டைம். மெதுவா தான் போகும் இந்த கிளவுட், ஆனா கண்டிப்பா போகும்.
ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ சார். தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் யுவர் ஆப்டிமிஸ்டிக் வியூஸ்.
தேங்க்யூ சார்.
ரெண்டாவது கொஸ்டின் வந்து இது, வாட் டு யூ ஃபோர்சீ இன் கிரேட் பிஹேவியரல் சேஞ்ச் இன் பீப்புள் இந்த ஆஸ்பெக்ட்னால?
கொஞ்சம் மோர் தென் ஈவன் த bigger than any religion, this is one thing that is common to all of us. இந்த கொரோனா பயம் வந்து பயம், கன்சர்ன் அண்ட் இதுல இருக்கிற ஒரு என்ன சொல்றது, ஒரு ஆமா கன்சர்ன். இது வந்து எந்த ஒரு ரிலிஜனுமே யுனைட் பண்ணாத ஒரு விஷயம். இது ஒண்ணுதான் வேர்ல்டே யுனைட் ஆயிருக்கு. இன்னும் நேஷன் டு நேஷன்ஸ் அண்ட் நேஷன்ஸ் ஃப்ரெண்ட் ரொம்ப இப்போ ஃப்ரெண்டா இருக்கும். சம் நேஷனுக்கு இப்போ ரொம்ப கோவத்துல இருக்காங்க. ஸோ இது ஒரு இன்விசிபிள் திங், இது வைரஸ் நம்ம கண்ணுக்கு தெரியறது இல்ல. இந்த ஒரு இன்விசிபிள், சாதாரண ஒரு இன்விசிபிள் திங் வந்து மனுஷனை உலகத்துல இந்த அளவுக்கு ஆட்டி படைச்சிருக்குன்னா இட் இஸ் அ கிரேட் லெசன், இஸ் அ கிரேட் லெவலர். இதுல என்ன பியூட்டினா, இது வந்து வசதி உள்ளவன், வசதி இல்லாதவன், பணக்காரன், ஏழை, மிடில் கிளாஸ் இதெல்லாம் இல்ல. எனிபடி கேன் அஃபெக்டட், anybody can get affected, especially people who are well off, because அவங்க தான் நிறைய டிராவல் எல்லாம் பண்ணி நிறைய சுத்தில வந்ததுனால அவங்க தான் இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் அதிகமா அஃபெக்ட் ஆகிறதுக்கு சான்சஸ் இருக்கு. ஸோ இட்ஸ் அ கிரேட் லெவலர். நான் அதுக்கு மேல நான் சொல்றேன், இது வந்து எல்லாம் முடிஞ்சு போயிடுத்துனா we will come back to normalcy. கொஞ்ச நாளைக்கு சில பேர் கொஞ்சம் ஹம்பிளா இருக்கிறதுக்கு இருப்போம். மேபி இட் would have affected us, especially எப்போ தெரியுமா, நம்ம ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் சர்க்கிளையோ ஃபேமிலியோ somebody is impacted, யாராவது நம்ம எழுந்தோம்னா அதோடைய பாதிப்பு கொஞ்ச நாளைக்கு இருக்கு, நிச்சயமா நிறைய நாளைக்கு இருக்கும். அப்படி இல்லைன்னாக்கா கொஞ்ச நாள்ல ஐ திங்க் we will come out of this, and it's better to come out of this. இதே போட்டு நம்ம உடைச்சுக்க கூடாது. இந்த மினிமலிசம் பத்தி பேசினாங்க, அதெல்லாம் எப்பவுமே பிராக்டிஸ் பண்றது நல்லது. நாட் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் கொரோனா. உனக்கு அத்தியாவசிய செலவு பண்ணாம, கடன் வாங்கி செலவு பண்ணாம நம்ம வாழ்க்கையை நம்மளே பார்த்துக்கலாம். எகைன் டு கோட் தலைவர், உன் வாழ்க்கையை உன் கையில தான் இருக்கு. Depending upon உன் வாழ்க்கையை நீ நடத்திக்கோ. That's it. I gave an example also. You buy 3 shirts, you find that's reasonable. I'll buy 6 shirts, that is reasonable to me. Doesn't matter at all. அதனால அது வந்து ஒருத்தருக்கும் ஒரு ரூல்ஸ். There is no single rule applicable to all the people.
Thank you, sir. மூணாவதா வந்து when you talk about the behavioral change, people will move to the digital platform. இல்லையா சார்?
கொஞ்சமா போவாங்க சார், கொஞ்சம்.
ஆமா, இப்போ வந்து டிஜிட்டல் பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் போக வந்து the human touch வந்து whether it will lose out, sir.
அப்படி சொல்ல முடியாது. இப்போ டிஜிட்டல்னாக்கா இப்போ பேப்பர் படிக்கிறது எடுத்துங்களேன். இப்போ வந்து நான் வந்து ஐ வாண்ட் மை காஃபி அண்ட் பேப்பர் இந்த மார்னிங். வேற என்னோட பசங்க வந்து பேப்பரே படிக்கிறது கிடையாது, எல்லாம் போன்ல தான் பாத்துக்கிறாங்க நியூஸ். ஓகே, ஸோ தட் இஸ் a big change. இன்னைக்கு நம்ம புக்ஸ் படிக்கிறதா, சின்ஸ் உங்களுக்கு அதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப என்ன சொல்றது ஃபேவரட் சப்ஜெக்ட். எனக்கு இன்னைக்கு வந்து புக், நாலு எனக்கு கிண்டில் இருந்தா கூட எனக்கு வந்து அந்த புக் வேணும், அதுல புக் மார்க் வைக்கணும், அதுல ஹைலைட் பண்ணணும், அந்த புக்கோட ஸ்மெல் வேணும், கையில புக்கு கேரி பண்ணணும். பட் பசங்க ஐ திங்க் நெக்ஸ்ட் ஜென்ரேஷன் வில் கோ பியூர்லி டிஜிட்டல், நிறைய டிஜிட்டலா போகும். அண்ட் இந்த மாதிரி விஷயம் மாறுமே தவிர ரொம்ப டிஜிட்டலா போச்சுன்னா மாறதுக்கு சான்ஸ் இருக்கு. ஆனா அதுல என்ன அட்வான்டேஜ் இருக்கு, இன்னைக்கு இந்த டிஜிட்டலா இருக்கிறதுனாலதான் அட்லீஸ்ட் ஈவன் யூ டேக் ஃபேமிலி மெம்பர்ஸ் இருக்கட்டும், ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸா இருக்கட்டும், we are still in touch thanks to digital medium. And digital cheap ஆயிடுது. இன்னைக்கு இங்க இருந்து யூஎஸ்ல you are able to have a video call literally at zero cost வச்சுங்களேன் கிட்டத்தட்ட. அது வந்து இன்னைக்கு அந்த ஸ்பேஸ் வந்து has enabled us to stay in touch with people. Okay, so this can happen across the globe. So இது நம்ம எது நமக்கு வேணும், எது நமக்கு நல்லது, எந்த அளவுக்கு எடுத்துக்கணும். ஸோ அதுல வந்து பிசினஸ் ஒரு மாதிரி ட்ரீட் பண்ணணும். சம்பஸ் மாதிரி பிசினஸ் கண்டினியூட்டி பிளான், டிசாஸ்டர் ரெக்கவரி, இதெல்லாம் நிச்சயமா இருந்தாகணும். தட் நோ டூ வேஸ், நோ கொஸ்டின்ஸ் ஆஸ்க். பர்சனல் லைஃப்ல எந்த அளவுக்கு நம்மளுக்கு வந்து டிஜிட்டல் வேணுங்கிறது நம்ம அவங்க டிசைட் பண்ணணும். ஐ எம்ப்ரேஸ் இட், பட் எனக்கு ஒரு லெவலுக்கு மேல எனக்கு அது பிடிக்காது. எனக்கு ரியல் டைம் சோஷியலைசிங், ரியல் கான்வர்சேஷன், இதெல்லாம் தான் எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும். Okay, so I am like that. You may be different. அதனால அவங்களுக்கு எப்படி அது வேணுமோ அது மாதிரி எம்ப்ரேஸ் பண்ணுங்க.
And final question, sir. Actually time ஆயிடுச்சு உங்களுக்கும். இந்த particular இந்த கொரோனா இஷ்யூஸ்ல, okay, because why I'm talking about this one, right type of investment என்னவா இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க? ஏன்னா நீங்க ஒரு ஆடிட்டர், you can suggest us how to go about in this particular phase.
Thank you. Very sensible question. Whoever has asked, நீங்களா கேட்டீங்களா இல்ல யாரா chatல கேட்டாங்களா, நல்ல question. முடிஞ்ச வரைக்கும் இது liquid investment அதுல போணும். liquid நான் சொன்னது encashable. It could be stock market, it could be mutual funds, directly into stock markets or through mutual funds, fixed deposit இருக்கலாம், எது என்கேஷ் பண்ண முடியுமோ. ரியல் எஸ்டேட்ல போய் இப்போ தயவு செஞ்சு பணத்தை போடாது. don't buy properties, at least now don't buy. It will price இன்னும் விலையெல்லாம் குறையும், அவசியப்பட்டா வாங்குங்க. ஆனா இப்போ அதெல்லாம் பண்ணக்கூடாது. இப்போ வந்து உங்க லிக்விடிட்டி ஷுட் பி ஃபென்டாஸ்டிக். அண்ட் அந்த ஏஜுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி ஒரு 65-year-old என்ன சொல்றது லிக்விடிட்டி பொசிஷன் அவசியப்படுறதும் ஒரு 30-35 பிளஸ் இருக்கிற ஒரு ஆளுக்கு வேண்டிய requirements are totally different. ஸோ அவங்க வந்து என்ன ஸ்டேட்டஸ் இருக்காங்களோ, ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் உங்க பசங்க வந்து எஜுகேஷன்லாம் முடிச்சிருக்கலாம், ஸோ யூ டோன்ட் நீட் நாட் வரி அபவுட் எஜுகேஷனல் எக்ஸ்பென்சஸ். ஸோ யூ நாட் அந்த எக்ஸ்டென்ட்டுக்கு நீங்க ஃபேக்டர் பண்ணிக்கலாம். வெரஸ் இப்போ பையனோ பொண்ணோ ஏதோ காலேஜ் போறாங்க, இல்ல வெளியில படிக்க போறாங்க, you want to provide for something, ensure that you have enough liquidity in the system. ஆனா இது the right time to slowly increase your investments also. ஏன்னா நம்ம வந்து இந்த ஹர்ட் கல்ச்சரா இருக்கக்கூடாது, எல்லாரும் வாங்குறது, எல்லாரும் விற்கும்போது போய் விற்கக்கூடாது. ஸோ ஒரு பேலன்ஸ் வேணும். You cannot, இப்போ ஈவன் ஸ்டாக் மார்க்கெட் you cannot go and buy at the bottom of the ocean. அது முடியாது. லோவஸ்ட் பிரைஸ்ல போய் வாங்குவேன்னா முடியாது. Nobody knows what is the lowest. So whenever market is bad, reaction ஆயிருக்குன்னா, if you are having a 1 year 2 years என்ன சொல்றது term, 2 years term at least to wait, then definitely this is a fantastic time to invest.
தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச் சார். ஆக்சுவலி எல்லாத்துக்குமே ஒரு ப்ராக்டிக்கலான சொல்யூஷன் கொடுத்துருக்கீங்க. ரொம்ப ஆப்டிமிஸ்டிக்கா இருந்தது உங்களோட ஸ்பீச். ஆக்சுவலி தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் யுவர் வண்டர்ஃபுல் பிரசன்டேஷன் அண்ட் ஆல்சோ தி கொஸ்டின்ஸ் எடுத்த விதம் எங்களுக்கு வந்து ரொம்ப தன்னம்பிக்கை கொடுத்தது சார். ரொம்ப நன்றி சார்.
உங்களை பார்த்ததுல ரொம்ப ஸ்பெசிபிக்கலி ரொம்ப ஹாப்பி, வெரி ஹாப்பி.
தேங்க்யூ சார். தேங்க்யூ சார்.
தேங்க்யூ.
மணி சார் will sum it up.
சம் அப் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா அதுக்கு ஒரு 1 மணி நேரம் ஆகும். ஸோ we'll just take a few things which I found fascinating. ஸோ இனிஷியலா பேசுறப்ப வந்து நான் எந்த பஞ்சும் பேச மாட்டேன் அப்படின்னு சொன்னாரு. I've got something else coming in. Vanity, sanity and reality அப்படின்னு சொன்னீங்க. Wow. ஒரு நியூ டெஃபினிஷன் டு turnover, profitability and cash flows. It actually struck me up, so I've got that marked in color. I thought that is an amazing way to actually take such a critical aspect in a very, very catchy manner. Apart from that, the other interesting aspect that came in was to try and talk to your employees. நிறைய மேனேஜ்மெண்ட், டாப் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் வந்து எம்ப்ளாயிஸை பார்க்கவே மாட்டாங்க. The last level, the first person that you see is security, who probably is outsourced. அங்க இருந்து திரும்ப நீங்க வெளியில போற வரைக்கும் you won't actually, top management hardly sees the last person on the floor. It is quoted that at a peak JRD knew every employee in Tata Steel by name and their family and their family issues. It's a classic takeaway for us that we need to not only know the employee but also the employee's family to internalize and take them together. And நீங்க சொன்னது கரெக்ட். If you sit and talk to them, they will actually stand by you. They are your biggest asset. உங்க ஃபேக்டரியோட லேண்ட், பில்டிங், சர்ப்ளஸ் லேண்ட், அதை விட your employees actually become a terrific asset. So if you sit and internalize and talk to them, they probably will help you cut your outflows tremendously. So that's a big takeaway for somebody like me who runs an SME, and I'm sure that people in the corporate also will take it like that. Then comes the other side of the coin that you spoke about, customers. There's B2B or B2C. B2C actually is very complex. Everybody's got a different mindset. So it's very complex to internalize and try and put in one simple policy. என்ன பண்ண முடியும், ஒரு ஜென்ரிக்கா ஒரு தாட் ப்ராசஸ் தான் சொல்ல முடியும். வி ஆர் வித் யூ அப்படின்னு தான் சொல்ல முடியும். இப்போ ஒரு let's take an example of a company like Sony or even a mobile phone company. All they can tell us at this juncture is that as a company we are responsible. நீங்க கையை வாஷ் பண்ணுங்க, don't go outside. So இதெல்லாம் தான் சொல்ல முடியும். But when it comes to B2B, again, this is something that we are trying to do. A list of about 70 to 80 customers, we are regrouping them based on the last 3 years of business that they've given us. But of course, நாங்க வந்து இந்த good, bad, ugly அப்படின்னு classify பண்ணல. Who should be the first 10-12 people whom we should be in touch with to try and internalize and tell them, the process industry. ஸோ மிஷினை ஸ்டார்ட் பண்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி நீங்க என்னெல்லாம் பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு செக்லிஸ்ட் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணி we've already shared with them. So I thought these three things came in as fantastic takeaways for us at the whole session. And another important thing that I would like to push across towards the end, நீங்க சொன்னீங்க, if you have the patience and the tolerance, as you walk the path, gifts will automatically keep coming to you. Your reward is there if you have the patience and if you have the tolerance. Fantastic. With that, I will sum up and I will say that we've taken quite a lot home, but I've taken only a few points to actually take it, which is very close to me, and I've shared it with the group here. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful evening. Thanks for this, Mani. Thank you so much.